Hello.
Hey guys, sorry, right when I did this, my timer went off and I'm like, but so welcome tonight. So good to see you guys here. We're going to get started in just a minute. We are going to be setting up the breakout rooms for everybody in our Zoom group, and we're going to welcome them in right now. So give us just a couple of minutes. We still have people coming in. What we're going to talk to you guys about tonight, though, is the struggles of learning sign language. So what have you found learning that has been a challenge for you? What challenges do you have when it comes to learning sign language? And go ahead and put it in the chat, and we're gonna discuss that tonight. So we're gonna answer any questions that you guys have, anything that you guys been struggling with, or like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I've been struggling with this part of learning ASL, or I'm just super discouraged. What do I do? We're going to talk about that tonight. So go ahead and think about your questions like, okay, I want to ask this, or I want to ask that, or I want to vent about this or vent about that. That's totally fine. So go ahead and kind of think about that for just a minute as we finish setting this up. Give me just 2 seconds. Now I'm going to welcome in our Zoom group really quick. Man, they're coming in like crazy. Wait. One of the bad parts about Zoom is like they set up, like you can't just turn off the waiting room.
I'll be switching devices.
That was really loud. Sorry, guys. So yeah, we're going to be letting them in right now, and we're going to be welcoming them in as well.
Yeah, and if you're on YouTube right now, you can go ahead and go to the description down below, and I have a Zoom link if you want to go ahead and connect and be put into a practice group. We have 4 different skill levels: brand new to the language, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So you can go ahead and let us know like which level that you would want to be put with. And our groups are about 3 or 4 people in each room. And yeah, so feel free to go ahead and join on Zoom. If not, we will be here and we'll be answering questions and discussing ways to kind of make the learning process a little bit easier. Let me go ahead and put this up here.
All right. So I'm going to turn this on.
Okay, go ahead.
Winner, chicken dinner. Here we go. All right. Boom. Haha. There we go. Hey, guys. All right. Let's see here. Finishing, letting everybody in. She hasn't made a sound.
So it's good to see you, Cindy and Andrea and Mimi, Chloe, Jalia, Emily, Pink Panda. Thanks for joining us on the live stream tonight. And go ahead and talk to the Zoom group real quick.
Okay, guys. So again, just like last time, we're also live streaming this on YouTube. So we're going to be talking. I'm looking down at you guys, even though my camera's up here. I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do this. I do want to let you guys know, though, that tonight we will not be doing the interpreting group. So everybody is being put with their groups to practice with. Once a month, I am going to put a pause on the interpreting group just so everybody still has an opportunity to continue to practice, because that is important to do that as well. Let's see here. So we've already started. We just started. Well, best to do it now. Just go to that room. Someone doesn't see me. Can you guys see me?
Is the camera turned on Zoom?
Yeah. You guys can see me? Okay, good. Somebody can't see me. I'm like, ha, ha, ha. Oh, it's hard to see his hand. Oh, yeah. Why is that? That's weird. Let me do this. Hold on. No, wait. Which computer is it? No, it's this one. Hold on. Okay. Do. Oh, now I'm cutting off the top of me. There we go. That's better. Okay. Okay, cool. Oops. So, how have you guys been? I know it's, how's your guys' week been? Going pretty good? Everybody doing pretty good right now? Nice. I see nice. Awesome. Good. That's good. I know it's, still crazy. Oops. Crazy times and everything's going all which way. But so we are super excited to have you guys here. Remember that tonight's theme is about food. And I remember that was like the vote from last week. It's like what you guys were gonna like chit chat about during your practice session. It was food. I love food, especially Mexican food. Oh, that's like my favorite. So awesome. Let's see here. One of the things I did want to let you guys know too is we we set up a new feature so that way when it comes to the chats, nobody can send a private chat to each other. That is for your safety. Any chats, any discussions that are being made are visible to everyone, including ourselves. So if there is any issues that come up, we see it, and then we will then take care of it right away. That is something that we did for you guys as well. Just want to let you guys know that we did start that. So we have someone here tonight who is deaf, and I'm like really happy to see you. Like, thank you for coming. I'm trying to find, where'd she go? Oh, that's right. I have two. Where?
I need to poop.
My daughter, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Where? I'm like struggling. Can't find. Okay. Well, fine. Anyways, so that means I'm going to be simcomming. So we're going to be setting up your guys' groups right now. How can I join in the chat rooms? So right now, if you're on the YouTube, we can see your chat. In the Zoom group, you can do that. That's in the link below. If you're in the YouTube live stream, that's in the below in the link. So you can go ahead and then add yourself into the Zoom meeting if you want, and then do the practice. So right now we're about halfway through making the groups. We started doing it while you guys were like practicing and talking. We were like, boop, 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 boop. I'm like, it's so much faster that way. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. We're going to finish doing this really quick. If you haven't yet, please be sure you change your name and add if you're like new, beginner, intermediate, advanced, so that way we can make this process a little bit faster. Who sent me that? Okay. Boop. Okay. All right, that group is done. See, and he was supposed to do the rooms, you guys, and then now it's me, and we all know what happened last week. It was just.
Hey, Miss Johnny.
Yes.
I got a comment. Not last week, but the week after that. That's why I know it's important to stay focused when someone's signing to you. Mm-hmm. I left the computer, went to the stove, came back, and it was 3 people signing to me. But what was so good about it, when you say there's a no judgment zone, they didn't judge me because I didn't get the signs that they were saying. So they stayed right there and watched me. So I guess when you threaten to cut people's fingers off that judge you, they but I just want to say I really appreciate it. I knew they were trying hard to get me what they were saying. They were so simple about I think it was what makes you mad. And my mind just went blank with those 2 words because I didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy that was like there's that no judgment, because that's a big thing with us, me especially. I'm like, I can't, that judgment, I don't tolerate it. I don't tolerate it at work. I train all of our interpreters, and I don't tolerate that kind of judgment at work. So yeah, I'm happy that here everyone's been really super supportive.
Morgan was in that class too. Morgan. I saw their eyebrows go up and said, well, maybe he'll get it after a while. And it seemed like I must have had a birthday or something. I just couldn't get it.
I know. Can you finish making these rooms?
Oh, yeah, sure.
But I appreciate that.
Okay, almost finished with the rooms. Let's see here. And then we have some people in the
We got a
chat.
lot to do here.
I know.
Okay, so I'll go ahead
It's
and
like we have a lot to do.
I'll go ahead and create
I'm over
these
here.
breakout rooms real quick.
Go ahead.
And
Be sure you look at the comments because some are adding their new intermediate advanced.
yes, you can go outside.
Want to go outside?
Especially,
Daddy, want to go outside?
yes,
Go,
baby,
please.
go ahead.
You want to
Mhm.
go outside, Daddy? You want to go outside?
My daughter, she's super excited.
You want to go outside?
Anyways, so
You want to go outside, Daddy?
During the Q&A, do you want me to do my hand exercise thing today? Chris and John.
yeah, if we have time at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. And I hope I can get onto that link you gave me. And if I can't, we'll just try again another time.
Sure. And if you're joining us on YouTube, feel free to go ahead and throw some questions our way. We should be finished in about 3 or 4 minutes getting these breakout rooms set up. So go ahead and feel free to ask us any questions, or maybe let us know what challenges you personally have been facing with learning sign language.
How often are these? I'd like to join next time. So these are every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I'm not good at that. So it's California time, Pacific time, every Wednesday at 5. Zip it. Zoom and YouTube now. So yes, these are happening simultaneously on YouTube and Zoom. Zoom can't see you any more than you can see the Zoom unless you're logged into both. So there's no worry about that.
Eastern time is 3 hours later, which would be 8 o'clock.
Okay, so 8 o'clock Eastern time. Yes.
I have to tell you that I was watching somebody sign and they were giving the directions left or right, and I didn't know whether it was his left or my left. Because I was looking at him and I thought, wow, now I'm going to have to figure out what is he talking about?
Interesting. I've never thought of that. When someone's giving directions and they say left or right, is it their left or your left? Their right or your right? How interesting. I've never thought about that. Is that something that any of you have ever thought about or had a challenge with? I'm just curious. I've never I've never thought about that.
Okay, so yeah.
I took it last semester, and the teacher went into depth about that. It's always the signer's perspective. So you put yourself in the signer's perspective. And like right now, I'm holding up my right hand, so you should think of your right hand, even though your right hand will be, opposite.
Right. I'm left-handed, so everything's different for me.
No, so if you're on YouTube, this is just the live. It won't have practice on the YouTube live. What we're going to do is when everybody goes into their breakout rooms, we have a topic that we're going to discuss with you, and that will you guys have questions or answers. That's what we're going to do here with you on the YouTube live.
Okay, so I have the breakout rooms set up. If there's any, go ahead and interpret for me real quick. So I have all the breakout rooms set up on Zoom. We'll go ahead and accept more people if you're wanting to join the practice groups, and just change your name and let us know what levels that you would like to be put with. Again, it's new, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. There are a few people that are on Zoom that didn't change their name. And so if there's a mismatch, you can actually contact us through Zoom chat.
Chris, just
Yes.
let them know, because some of them don't go into the chat. I had written it in the chat because some people were asking because they were saying they were new. I told them how to do it, but let them know that they can go over their name with the mouse and click on the 3 dots and click rename, so they can put their name in if they're new or intermediate.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start the breakout rooms, and you'll be there for about 30 minutes, and then we'll come back, and we're going to be discussing a little bit more about the 7-day challenge that we have set up starting in November. We'll be giving away one free to somebody that's on the YouTube. So if you're finished with your practice group, you can actually hop on to the YouTube live stream. I guess I don't have to...
Don't seem calm.
So yeah, we dropped the link for the live stream if you wanted to join after your practice group, and then we'll be giving one free registration away to somebody on the live stream, and yeah, we'll be answering more questions and everything like that as well. So enjoy your practice session, and remember to really make that communication happen. If you are too tempted, maybe turn your microphones off. And really be patient with each other. And if you don't know the sign for something, you know, there's no shame in fingerspelling it. It's good practice. And be patient, kind with one another, and have a good time. And we'll see you on the other side. Okay.
Okay. Going. Multiple miles. Let's see here. Now I'm going. Hello, my YouTube friends. Okay. I have a really hard time remembering colors. Do I just have to practice?
You can throw it up.
Oh. So I have a really hard time remembering colors. Do I just have to practice more, or is there a certain trick to learn? That's a good question. Christopher, go ahead and take that one while I help this person.
Okay, yeah, so when it comes to learning colors, there's some that are kind of easy to remember. Like I start with the ones that kind of shake, so like purple, green, yellow, G, and they're that English lexicalized sign. So it starts with the letter of the actual word. So that actually helps me a lot. And then there's some of them that do that as well, like pink is actually the letter P on your chin. And other ones, like whatever you can kind of use to help you remember, like the sign for orange. Some people think of like they're squeezing an orange on their chin, and it's the same sign for the fruit orange as well. So whatever kind of works for you, and over time they do get easier and easier to remember. Let's see here. Maybe I met a deaf person and was able to communicate with them. Oh, this is great. Janice is saying I met a deaf person and I was able to communicate with them. They even showed me how to sign you are welcome, or you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome.
Thanks you.
There's a few ways to sign that one. So I'm curious, which one did they show you? You're welcome, or you're welcome? Let me know.
Morgan's all by herself.
Mimi, I can't ever remember gray. So for the color gray, what I think of is black on one hand, white on the other, and you're blending them together to make gray. Maybe that helps you out. Food vocab. Yeah, so tonight's theme was actually food and drinks. So if you have any questions about like how to sign any kind of food or drinks or restaurants or anything like that, go ahead and let us know, and we can go ahead and show you the sign.
Oh, okay.
While you're doing that, I would like to ask about grammar. What is the sign tenses, for like past, present, or future? That's a really tricky one because there's in some instances, the tense is set up in the beginning of the sentence. For example, like the sign for go and went are the same, but depending on what time parameter you set up earlier in that sentence could change the meaning of that sign. So, today I am going, or yesterday I went, right? Same sign, but that tense kind of changes on its own. If you're using signed exact English, you could add like went, go, finish. And so there are, and sign language, this is a tricky thing too, is that you'll find that there's many ways to sign the same thing. And so really the more that you can involve yourself into the language and the community and use it as often as possible, then it's going to be much easier to be able to recall and produce those ways and those different tenses. I was in the Zoom and I didn't know sign, and everyone was signing together. I felt left out. Can you help me? Yeah, so the signs, if you are with a certain group, I know there were a few names that I didn't see, like skill level requests. So there was about 4 people that I just put all in a room together. So maybe there was a mismatch in skill level. So let me know, are you like brand new to the language or maybe a beginner? And then I can move you into a different room.
Okay, I just sent you to another room.
Yeah.
So I think you, yeah. Did it pop up? No. Oh, okay.
I was going to learn ASL from or in high school, but they had me in French, but I'd love to add ASL to my list of languages. That's awesome. Yeah, I know quite a few that will just
Okay, I just sent it again.
learn languages for fun. And, you know, ASL is really a beautiful language, and it's, you know, the ability to connect to the deaf community can really a special connection. And, you know, some will maybe just start learning for fun, and then eventually they end up finding like a new career, or they just find a new passion, something that really motivates them to start something new, to meet new people. And yeah, it's a beautiful community if you want to go ahead and dive in and learn ASL. Okay, so Emily, a beginner?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Coffee, tea, hot chocolate, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so coffee, just like you're grinding like coffee beans, coffee. Tea, like you're just you're dipping the tea bag into the drink. Hot chocolate, hot chocolate. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's actually a couple ways to sign both of, or all 3 of those. Breakfast, B on the chin, or breakfast, morning food or morning eat. Lunch, same thing. You have the English lexicalized sign, L for lunch, or noon food. And dinner, D for dinner, or night food. Looking forward to the 7-day challenge. We are too. We're really excited. Especially back in, I think it was June, that we did a 7-day ASL
Hi,
boot camp.
what level would you say that you're at right now?
I would say beginner. I'm taking ASL 1 in my university.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yeah.
I know exactly where I'm going to put you right here.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Emily, you can go ahead and rejoin.
Thank you.
Famous people's names. Are there name signs for them? There are a few.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know the answer to that question.
One of my favorite ones is Einstein. It's for his hair. Einstein. You can find that one on aslcore.org, and they have a few signs for like really famous scientists.
No more.
A few others. I remember Niall DeMarco did some signs for like Britney Spears. I want to say it was like somewhere like this, but I can't remember. If you search Niall DeMarco, and I think it was social media signs he was teaching. It's super rapid, fast, but it's a really good one to watch, because they go for like Instagram and Facebook and a few other like Twitter, Zoom. Actually, you know, he didn't do Zoom. It was from a couple years back, but Zoom is one that has like 3 signs. Like it started out being Fingerspell, and then it became Zoom, And more recently, I've seen a Zoom, like for all the little video boxes. And so it's a Zoom. And Instagram, too, is kind of that way, too, where you have the photos and you're just kind of swiping through the photos.
Okay, I'm going to throw this one up. How to sign hello. I see the military salute or tapping my head with both hands. Which one is correct? Go ahead, because I'm still doing this.
Oh. Okay. So usually, like tapping the head with both hands. I'm not sure what that. Oh, this. Okay, yeah. So they're both correct. So this one's just you're saying hello to one person, and this is you're saying hello to a lot of people.
There we go. Room 4.
Abby, I love your channel. It helped me so much. I'm glad. That's been our goal, is to make learning sign language as accessible as possible. Dan, I'm a beginner and have the alphabet by heart. I'm wondering about time signs, like 15 minutes, half hour, and 45 minutes. Those kinds of time signs. You have somebody else. So actually, this Friday, we're going to be hosting a workshop, and it's all going to be about time signs and like time parameters and how to just sign different things, like maybe something as simple as like a week, right? Week or next week, last week, every week, and things like that with years and minutes and hours, noon, afternoon, evening. So I think you mentioned 15 minutes. So you do the sign for 15 and minutes or minutes. I've seen both ways. And so one's not right and one's not wrong. It's just variations. Half hour. So you could do half hour, but usually it's half hour. Half hour. Like the minute hand on the clock is going halfway across. And 45 minutes, if you do 45, and then you do minutes or minutes.
Uh-oh. Hi, Emily.
Let's see here. Can you let me in? Yeah, I think we.
I have just about
we
everybody.
have her
okay,
there.
So, okay. Sophia, what would you say? Where would you place your skill level at?
Intermediate.
Intermediate. Perfect. Okay.
Okay, just kind of go through the comments, and if I miss a comment, it's not on purpose and it's not against you. Sometimes they just roll in, and I'll miss a few. So if I missed your question, go ahead and type it again, and hopefully I'll get a chance to answer everyone's questions tonight.
Emily, I think I put you in room 4. And then Leah, what would you say your skill level is? Oh, okay.
Maravaska is asking, I'm a physical therapy student and starting my first clinical rotation in a week. Do you have any videos about body parts or any medical terminology that could be useful in a clinical setting? Myself, I don't have any videos covering those specific subjects, but there are, I forget where they're from, but if you YouTube ASL body or medical science in ASL, I know Bill Vickers that does lifeprint.com has a ton. And we do have a page on our website, aslbasics.com, with a page that's full of free resources. And it has multiple ASL sign dictionaries, which can be really helpful for learning those kinds of vocabulary. Particularly, one of my favorites recently is ASL Core, because it's from deaf scientists that are in those specific fields, and they're coming up with like new signs that are just really clear and like to the point, and they're really helpful, especially even if you're an interpreter, and maybe you're interpreting like a biology class, and it's really good to get that kind of vocabulary.
Where did she go?
I have the App Sign School, which has really helped me, but I've just recently found you guys, and it's so much
There you go.
easier to understand. So I just wanted to thank you guys.
Room 11.
Well, appreciate it. Really appreciate hearing those kinds of sentiments, and anything to make learning sign language a little bit easier, because I know it's hard. It can be really challenging sometimes. Awesome. What time is the class on Friday? I think we have it set to 3 p.m., right? So it's on Friday.
30.
I think it's at 3.
Really? Aren't you done?
Yes.
You're not done at 3.
Oh, 3. Oh, okay.
I think it's at
Yeah, you're
3:30.
right. You're right. So 3:30. Ooh, then I have to go and change. I think I said it for 3. Okay, so 3:30. And so if it says otherwise, I'm going to be changing that tonight. But 3:30 on Friday, and it's going to be available to everybody that's a YouTube member and also a Patreon.
I assigned you to a
and Beyond the Basics on the website. So it's going to be available on all 3 of those platforms.
Okay. There's a lot of people like joining all like at the same time. And I'm like, wow. I was like adding people. Sorry, guys. So
ASL Core or ASL Core?
Core.
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 ASL Core.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, oh, there's more people coming in. Hello.
Can you make the Zooms earlier? I have school.
Ooh, you know, we've been talking about that.
Yeah.
We've been talking about making them at like 4. We're like still like up in the air, like if it's something that we're gonna do, but that is something that we definitely have been like processing the idea of doing.
Yeah,
like what level would you say you're at? Like an appropriate level for you to be in.
Thanks. I have Jolie answering for us. Okay, I think I missed a couple comments earlier. Thanks a lot because I'm teaching deaf students. Thanks a lot because I am teaching deaf students as a non-native speaker, but you know Arabic sign L is different. So do you have different grammar lessons for deaf students? Well, Arabic sign is different than ASL. So as far as any of the Arabic stuff, that's actually not my forte. I do know a few that know Arabic sign language. Like if you're on Instagram, sign with Nada, N-A-D-A. She's from Dubai and she knows Arabic sign language and she's learning ASL and she's actually writing a research paper as well. But yeah, signed with Nada on Instagram. That might be a good resource if you're looking into Arabic sign language.
No, I have been learning. Okay, so you're gonna go then into room 7.
Earlier Zooms would be great. Maybe alternate each week.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
I like that.
I don't have Zoom. How can I practice? That's a really good question. At some point, we might have to lock the Zoom.
I know.
So anyways, if you don't have Zoom, how do you practice? So that's something that comes up a lot, and that's kind of the reasons why we set these up in the first place, because it can be really difficult to be able to find other people to practice with. First and foremost, you know, if you can find those that are deaf that are willing to practice with you. I know there's a lot of great deaf tutors. I have a few on our resources page on the website. So I can't remember them off the top of my head, but if you go to aslbasics.com, and one of the images is free ASL learning resources, and we have a list of those that will tutor. Also, you can find groups. Facebook is good. I know some do Marco Polo, and they have like practice groups set up. And so, you know, just use what you have, and if possible, just try to become involved into the deaf community as much as you can.
It's true.
And if not, then you'll be able to find others that can practice with.
Let's see. Will there be an option for a 2-person breakout groups in the future? Sometimes it's hard to practice with multiple people at the same time. I know that's a very common thing. And we've kind of been getting that question a lot lately. We can. It will take a little bit longer to make the groups, but we've kind of been thinking about that. Like before when we did it, everybody was like, hey, do you mind like making them like with 3 or 4 people so we can like meet different ones? And we're like, sure. But now I think that mentality is coming like, hey, you know what? This is kind of like hard because I'm like, are you talking to me or are you talking to him? Because, you know, technology sucks. So yeah, I think we might change that. When we pull everybody back together, we are going to talk about that. Like, hey, what do you guys think? Because this is kind of a, you know, it's a challenge for some people. So yeah, I definitely think that's something that we're probably going to be incorporating here pretty soon. Keep going because.
Okay, yeah, and one reason why we started making larger groups. What's that?
I'm trying to assign, no, I mean, I'm trying to assign people to the rooms, but it won't send them. I don't think I can assign any more people out.
Oh, sometimes
it's
Zoom won't let you like move people when the breakout rooms have already been established. So I think maybe next week when we set this up, we'll have the Zoom, and when the breakout rooms are initiated, we might just have to lock the Zoom meeting.
Like there's a cutoff time.
Yeah, there's a cutoff time. And you should have, because it just takes like about 5 to 10 minutes to set up anyway. So you have that window to come and join. But if you miss that window, we might have to just go ahead and pause people joining when we've already separated and created the groups. Let's see here. I'm totally new to the language, but I have learned a little bit watching Chris YouTube videos. Thanks for those videos. You're welcome, Ricardo. Glad they're helping out. Oh, this is the one that you read earlier about 2-person breakout rooms. Oh, and yeah, the reasons why we started making bigger groups too is because what would happen is one person would get dropped, and then that one person would be by themselves. So having like 3 or 4 was kind of a way to make sure that people weren't by themselves or stuck in a breakout room by themselves. Mm-hmm. So that is one issue that maybe will happen because sometimes we have 40 or 50 people joining the Zoom. And like if we're setting up 2 per room, then that's going to mean we're going to have 25 breakout rooms. And odds are one of them will probably get disconnected or dropped.
We have right here, Andrea. She says, I'm learning so much watching Chris talk and sign. You know, that's one of the fun things about doing SimCom is that if maybe, and the reason why I do it, and some people don't like it. They're like, no. The reason I do it is because not all my friends know sign and not all my deaf friends, well, you know, I mean, they don't speak English. So over the years, I've learned to SimCom where I sign and talk at the same time. So does Chris. And so it's good because it keeps the deaf involved in the conversation if my hearing friends don't know sign, but we're all like hanging out together. And it helps my hearing friends know what I'm saying, but they also like pick up signs. It's like really cool. So I enjoy doing it, but I do know there's some people who don't like it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I do it to make sure everybody feels included and like nobody feels left out or alone. Mainly the deaf. Like I don't want them to feel like they're all left out. And the reason why some people don't like it is because it's a hard skill to do. I mean, it's really hard to learn to SimCom and to do it right. Because most of the time I have some who try and the communication is just gone. Like English is messed up, sign language is messed up, everything's just messed up. And you're like, what? But if you can acquire the skill, it's a really good skill to have. I'm reading another. Oh man. I'm gonna have to lock this meeting in my Zoom.
Right. So cool. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Do you change the order of your signs when you use your voice and sign at the same time? Yes. So unfortunately, when you SimCom, the ASL grammar is gone. It's not there because that like maybe someone can do it and they've got like this skill to be able to like do two different grammars at the same time. That is not me. He doesn't do it either. So what I do is I go full English grammar when I'm SimComming. Sometimes I'll throw like a little bit of ASL in there, or you'll notice that maybe the sign isn't the exact same English. The English word isn't the exact same sign that I'm doing because there's variations. So sometimes that can be confusing. But yeah, most of the time when you're SimComming, you're signing full English grammar. More so than Paige, relax. More so than with
With a horse.
what's it called?
Two grammars messed up.
It's PSE. More so than you normally would with PSE. Think.
More time suggestions, more time conflicts. It's hard to pick a time that works for everybody. So I think maybe what we'll do down the line is to have different times. So we have tested different times before with our workshops. So sometimes we'll do Saturdays, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or we've, for the 7-day ASL boot camp we did back in June or July, we did a 10 o'clock class in the morning, and then we did what time was the practice group at night? I think it was at 4. And this is all California time, by the way. So if you're on Eastern time, 3 hours extra, or if you're Mountain time, 1 hour, Central time, 2 hours. But anyways.
Emily, they're talking about food. That's like the subject of the for tonight. And super awesome group. Just interject. You can talk to anyone and be like, hey, I just popped in. How are you? It's okay to be that person. To be like, hey, I'm here too. I know it's hard. It's really hard right now because we had a lot more people join into the Zoom than ever before. I think we're pushing like 60 people in here. So the breakout rooms are like intense. They're more so than they normally would typically be. So something's going to have to change next week because it's like more than normal. So we're definitely going to change something like that. I do apologize because we were not expecting this many people on the Zoom part of it.
How many do we have tonight?
We did have like 6. Well, I can't tell because
60.
I can't tell right now because everybody's in their rooms. But more than the average bear.
Like the computer we're using for Zoom right now, I think you can only have 24 on each page. And so you'll end up having multiple pages that you have to go swipe through.
Okay, let's see here.
That one's kind of funny.
Hello. Now the two of you are she's SimCom and he's ASL. Wow, this is I know. So what we normally do is like interpret for each other. If I'm SimComming, it's hard for me to stop. Like I have to sit on my hands because I like habitually will sign and talk at the same time. That's just me. But we always try to interpret because sometimes we have the deaf that show up. And so we want to make sure that everything is like clear and we don't have somebody left out. So it's just, yeah. Real quick, how do you sign 11? Flick, flick. That's how I always do it. Flick, flick. Oh my goodness. 4 people are in my Zoom.
This is a good one right here. Abby was asking, how do I practice by myself? 14, can't talk to people on the internet, and nobody in my family wants to learn. So how can I practice by myself?
That is a very good question. It's hard. And I know a lot of people are in the same boat because, everything that's going on right now with COVID, we can't just, go out to deaf events. We can't just go out and do certain things. So what I would recommend, I'll give you an example. My niece was like that. She didn't live here at the time. She, when she was about your age, and my sister, nobody of them wanted to know sign. We knew sign, but she lived far away, so it was hard. So my recommendation would be to practice everything you hear. If you're listening to the radio, if you're watching TV or a movie, try to sign what you're hearing. Coming to our practice sessions, if it's something that you're permitted to do, and practice with those on Zoom. We try our best to make this the Zoom a very safe environment. It's something that we monitor because I don't know everybody on a personal. I mean, we've been doing this for quite a while, and the people who come are the ones who've been with us from the beginning. We've gotten to know them, but we do have some safety features put in place on Zoom to make sure that everybody is safe. So if that's something that you're allowed to do, then I would say come on Wednesday nights to practice. I think that would be really, really great because then you're practicing your receptive and your expressive skills. Another thing, a lot of people who end up practicing alone, they struggle with fingerspelling, not the ability to fingerspell, but to understand fingerspelling. And that's because when you fingerspell and you're practicing your fingerspelling, you're used to seeing it from this perspective of you producing it, but you're not used to seeing it from the perspective of somebody else who's doing it at you. So my recommendation to people with that is to practice in the mirror, practice fingerspelling in the mirror. So you get your brain used to seeing it in a receptive manner. And so when somebody fingerspells to you, your brain's like, oh, I already understand what's going on here. I got this. Or record yourself fingerspelling. You could do that too. For me, that takes time. And I'm like, oh, I'd just rather do it in the mirror and practice fingerspelling that way. Expose yourself as much as you can. There's TV shows. There's Switched at Birth. There's another one coming out on Netflix, and I can't remember the name.
Deaf You. Okay, with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's all kinds of resources out there. That's what I personally would try to do. Expose yourself as much as you can. Try to practice with different ones if you can. But if you can't, yeah, it's hard, but don't give up. It is a beautiful language, and you do have the ability to learn. You do. You really do.
Texas.
Let's see here. Thank you for what you do. I've been watching for a while now. My girlfriend is an interpreter, and I've become very involved in our local deaf community, loving meeting new people and communicating. Awesome. Hey, another interpreter. Woo woo. Hey. Okay. The deaf community is small. The interpreting community is even smaller. So like super excited to have, oh, sorry, you can't see me because that's up. Oh, super excited to another interpreter's out there. Hey. Super cool. When I sign, I don't know, hold on. See, I'm not good at reading. I sign when I talk, and my husband tells me I'm hearing stop signing. He does not know sign and is not willing to learn. So when I get mad at him, sign. Yeah, like I said, SimCom sometimes really annoys people. It's just one of those things for sure. I've recorded myself in the past and compare myself signing to the video I'm watching. Yes, that's a wonderful thing to do, especially if you're wanting to see how far you've come. When you first start learning, record yourself signing something, pick something. It doesn't really matter what. And then as time goes on, record yourself signing something again, but this time compare, go back and see how far you've come. You'll be surprised how far you've come, because a lot of people get discouraged. Like, I'm not making progress. I'm just like, you really are making progress. You just don't see it anymore because you're so used to what you're doing. But yeah, record yourself and go back and watch it, and just, you'll see like your progress is just, shoo, it takes off. It really does. Deaf you. Thank you, Julie. Very dramatic. Hi. So, okay, good. I think I've got, I hate missing people's comments.
How do you sign I'm confused?
Oh.
Up here.
Oh.
Hey,
you forget my laptop's touchscreen.
Yeah.
How do you sign confused? Confused. So it's like this. So it's like you have one hand facing you, another hand facing out, and they go in the opposite direction of each other.
Yeah, sometimes I've seen like thought confused,
Yeah, think confused.
and sometimes it's straight
or
figures.
like if what
other
you're
times it's
saying, I'm
crooked
like,
eyes.
I'm confused. I don't understand. Don't understand. That's a good one if
That's
you're
an
practicing.
important side to
Don't
know.
understand. What? Even the eyebrows. That facial expression. It's about time to pull everybody back. So I'm gonna close out all these rooms. Watch that everyone's gonna be all sad now. They're gonna be like, no, oh, wrong mouse. They're gonna be like, no, and go. They're all gonna come back in like a giant horn. All quick.
Yeah, we're doing a giveaway tonight.
Yeah, so giveaway tonight. It's not for the free. Well, okay, so the free classes, it's for the 7-day
The ASL challenge.
the challenge. There's like we've had like 3 different ones, and they all have different names. But I get confused. But yeah, so the 7-day challenge, we are doing a giveaway for that one today. Can you briefly explain PSE and ASL? I'm confused on how I should learn exactly. My friends sign ASL, but I notice a lot of PSE. Okay, so that is a really good question. And I'm going to answer it. Please don't get offended if somebody is watching us. So the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of different opinions on if you should sign ASL or if you should be PSE or if you should be whatever. I'll tell you right now. It doesn't matter. And I say it doesn't matter because no deaf person signs the same. I was strict ASL. That's how I was taught. It was ASL or get out. That, no joke. We were both taught that way. I mean, that was it. So I signed strictly ASL. I mean, English grammar didn't exist in my hands. I became an interpreter, same thing. Now, from where I'm from, originally, that was acceptable. That's just what happened. Then we moved. So when I was interpreting there and my ASL, my deaf clients couldn't understand me. They were like, what? Asked my boss. I said, what is happening? How is it that nobody's understanding me? And my boss goes, because you're ASL. I'm like, that doesn't matter. I'm like, oh, that's a good thing. She goes, you're one of those. I'm like, okay, boss, what are you talking about? She's like, you have to be flexible to where you live. In our area, they sign PSE. They sign very English. Where you're from, they sign very ASL. You have to learn to be adaptable and flexible to different ways of signing. If I signed PSE, that the deaf are going to understand me. But I learned if I signed ASL, they won't all understand me. So it's okay. It's okay to be, I'm trying to think.
Flexible. Open,
Don't feel like
people.
if you sign PSE that's a bad thing. It's not. Like if you know somebody and they sign more ASL, that's great for them. And if you sign PSE, that's great for you. There's no one is like more superior or better than the other person. That doesn't exist. It exists probably in somebody's own mind, but in the real world, it doesn't matter. It's okay because no one deaf person signs the same. And so having that flexibility and maybe being able to jump back and forth, that's good. That's a good thing. So no, you're okay. You learn however you want to learn it. You learn which way you want to learn it and just go from there. And it'll be okay, I promise.
Yeah, and also
wow. That is loud. Sorry guys.
Anyways, what I always recommend is to learn the style in which of the deaf community that you're most involved in. And so, for example, from where we came from in Southern California, we were really close to a deaf school in Riverside. And so ASL was very prominent in that area. So we learned ASL and we were able to communicate very clearly with ASL.
Sorry, I'm reading comments.
Sorry.
All these rooms are.
It's fine. Everybody's back.
Are they?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it does that every time. Just close it up.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry, guys.
So learning PSE would have actually benefited us in the area that we're living here. So what I would actually recommend is primarily focus on what your local deaf community uses most. In some cases, that's going to be PSE. In some cases, it's going to be more ASL. And in some really rare cases, like in the older generations of deaf, you'll find that Signed Exact English, SEE, is still used. It's pretty rare these days, but it's still out there.
And in
So
Texas, it gets persnickety and they do transliteration.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true too.
Yes.
And that's another thing entirely. That's why that's what totally threw me off, because they do PSE in Iowa, but it's totally ASL and transliteration are totally separate, so I can't mix the two.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll find those that are like a blend, right? And, interpreters kind of switch between modes depending on who they're talking with, right? Because our job is to facilitate clear communication. But sometimes the deaf will do that too. And in some cases, like one deaf woman we learned from years ago was fluent in 6 languages, 3 sign languages and 3 verbal languages. And so sometimes she would mix like Polish signs with ASL signs. And like we would, we've never seen that sign before. And sometimes like she just kind of blended them in without even thinking about it.
That was intense.
And, we kind of do that in English too. Like every once in a while we'll throw in a French word or a Spanish word and not even think twice about it. But yeah, it's just the communication is really the important part. And so the more adaptable you can be and the more people that you learn from was going to really increase your ability to. Did you just close out Zoom?
No, I didn't.
I think you did.
No, I didn't.
Did it just crash?
It crashed.
Oh.
There was too many people on my Zoom.
It's okay. They'll come back, or they can join on YouTube or YouTube as.
Oh my God, they're back. Oh my God, everybody came back.
Anyways, communication.
Okay, I could have sworn, you guys, that Zoom just crashed, and I was like, oh, my
That's
friends.
all right. We told them you'd be back.
my friends are gone. No, this is horrible. Okay.
I did that one time with the breakout rooms. You have the blue button that says like leave breakout room. And then I hit the red one that like closed the meeting, and we had like 50 people with us that night.
That's fine.
Yeah,
So sometimes that happens.
Stuff's like, I remember that. I remember you did that.
I'm sorry.
It's true.
Real quick question: what is PSE?
PSE is ASL signs, but in a more English grammar.
And the acronym is for Pigeon Sign.
Pigeon Sign Language. Real quick, I do want to tell some people were having a hard time in Zoom, getting into Zoom and things like that. I want to apologize. We had a lot more people that like came in spontaneously than we've ever had before. So people were kind of getting the groups were kind of getting mixed up. Too many people were in a room, things like that. So what we're going to have to do, and I'm just letting you guys know this for next week, is I'm going to have a cutoff time. So like this starts at 5, but by like 5:15, we're going to be locking Zoom so nobody else can join, mainly because we had so many, you guys, it like influx, like boom. And there was too many of you guys. And that's a good thing, because I love that everybody wants to practice, but in that moment, it created a problem for some, and I want to apologize to you guys for that. So we're gonna be changing that. This is my daughter. She's like very like, hey guy, can you sign? How are you? How are you?
How are you?
There you go. Good job. How are you? Oh, my Zoom people can't see you. Sign it again.
Sign?
Sign how
Okay.
are you?
How are you?
Good job. Very good. So
Yeah.
my daughter is 2. She's been learning signs since literally the day she was born, because he started it. And she's been doing super, super good. I'm very proud of her.
Hey, Mom.
Yes.
Dad.
Mhm.
Yes, that is Mom and Dad. So So real quick, my thoughts, you guys, I swear it's been one of those nights. We are going to pick the person in tonight's YouTube, the Who Was Here Live. We're going to say your name or your little name, whichever one pops up. Let us know that you're still here. If we don't hear from you in like 5 minutes, then we're going to pick a new winner. So let's see. Let it generate. Here we go. Okay. The person is okay. No.
Sorry, scanning.
No, well, don't do that because here it is. Texas GSXR Rider 0. Rude.
That one.
You. I don't have your name, but you are the winner for tonight for the giveaway for free registration for the 7-day challenge. Super exciting. Congratulations. Yay. If you're still here, let me know. And then if you can't, my thoughts. If you could give us your email address, and then we can send you all the appropriate information for it. So go ahead. I've talked enough. Do your thing, and I will interpret for you now. So sorry. Last week, you guys know I was like blah, 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 the whole time, and he was like trying to interpret behind me. So
yeah, and it's like mentally exhausting sometimes too, especially if you're interpreting for this one.
Is there a topic for next week? Is there a topic for practice time next week?
I have the topic set up for 2 weeks from now because it's going to be included in the 7-day challenge.
What about next week?
But next week, I don't have one set up yet.
Vote. What would be a
so
fun,
let us know what theme would you want?
Yeah, what theme would you guys? Because I know like you guys picked food for this one. Is there like a idea like when COVID is over, what vacation are you guys going to go and take? Where are you guys going to go? Where are you going to fly to?
Someone suggested hobbies.
Oh, hobbies. That's fun.
But you know what? What about social media?
Social media?
No?
What kind of thing is that?
So I was watching Bill Vickers the other day, and it was a really interesting video and how he presented the information and how he incorporated different signs. But
yeah, but they're
anyways.
practicing talking about it.
It's the internet age. But yeah, what was the other one?
Hobbies.
But you said color once. Color or school or work. Didn't you say colors?
And the topic. Okay, let's do hobbies.
Do YouTube.
For
just
next week.
Drop a comment
Hobbies.
and let us know. We're thinking hobbies. If you have a suggestion for a particular hobby, maybe like I don't know, sewing or basketball or sports or video gaming or art.
Do I have a hobby? I hate that question because someone's like, "What are your hobbies?" I'm like, I don't know.
Talking, chit chat.
CrossFit. That's a hobby of mine. Anyways, whatever.
Anyways, Texas.
He's there. He said,
He's
"Woo!"
like, woo!
He was very excited. Oh, it's a Suzuki motorcycle. My bad. Man.
GSXR is a Suzuki motorcycle for your information.
I have no clue. Okay.
Congrats.
So, one of the things we were talking about is ways of making sign language enjoyable. And it can be a challenge to make sign language enjoyable, especially right now, you guys. It's so hard because we're isolated. We can't do the things we normally would. If you were learning sign language in college, not anymore. You're doing it online, depending on where you are. I mean, here in California, we're still online. They're talking about keeping our colleges closed even through the next fall semester. It's like, wow. So, I mean, it's hard. It's sad. It's discouraging because being interactive with people, like with your fellow students in class or going out to deaf events, that's what makes learning sign language fun because it's engaging and you're like, yeah. But unfortunately, COVID kind of ruined that. So now we're trying to find new avenues of making this fun and enjoyable. And it's hard. it's hard. So a few tips and tricks for that, and feel free to share your personal tips and tricks. What's helped you? Maybe you guys do something that I've never thought of. But one of the things I tell people to do is reach out and network with other people. I know it's hard too, because you're like, I don't know you. I'm like, why would I network out with who? Who am I going to network out with? So maybe, ask if you're going to college, maybe ask your professor, is there ways for me to network out with different ones in a safe way, in a safe environment, maybe with your fellow students. Maybe if you're here on Zoom and you like the group you were with and you were like, man, I really hit it off with so-and-so. And like, we just chatted it up. Maybe see if you can exchange information and practice outside of just the Zoom sessions, because that kind of keeps it more fun and engaging, because you have somebody to practice with. I know we had somebody who said, I have nobody to practice with. I'm at home. Nobody in my family wants to learn sign language. So I'm learning by myself. That's hard. That's a hard thing to do. I was telling them, my niece years ago, because my sister, she knew, she had pretty good receptive, but she didn't really care about signing. And my other niece, her sister, she was like, So my poor niece, she's like this lone ranger because she lived far away. She didn't live near us. And she was like trying to learn by herself. So trying to like help and be supportive to her. One of the things I tell people, because it's hard, try to expose yourself in different ways. YouTube has so many resources. ASL that, ASL Duo, Sign with Heart, The Daily Moth. There's others. Bill Vickers. There's a lot. I'm just trying to like, Bill Vickers, things like that. Try to expose yourself. And some of them are really fun to watch. Switched at Birth, broken record. I know. Switched at Birth is a lot of fun. Yeah, go ahead.
Also, if you can watch songs, but you have to know which ones are the good interpreters for the songs, like Amber Gallup,
yeah,
and Sarah Schubert.
That's true. Songs, watching songs in sign language are a lot of fun. Finding the right ones. You guys know what I mean when I say that. But finding the right ones to watch. There are quite a few out there. On his website, he has a lot of resources of different YouTube, things like that. Even Netflix. Now I have no idea what it's about. I just keep hearing about it. Is the new Sign You?
It's Deaf You,
Dang
and it's about the Gallaudet University.
Emily Page, turn that light back on. Like the power went out. I thought I was passing out. All of a sudden it gets dark in here. Oh my God. It's about what? Anybody know? I don't know what it's about. You know what it's about? It's a reality show?
It's kind of like typical college drama, but at a university.
Oh, so it's like typical college drama. Awesome. Oh, those are fun.
You get a good peek into the culture, though, but it's hard to try to pay attention to the signing and read because, they're just talking, so it's really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, Switched at Birth is kind of like that, too, where sometimes it's hard to, like, especially if they're, like, signing from the side and you're like, what is that? What is it? But they normally had, Switched at Birth had closed captions. I'm almost 100% positive that Deaf You will have closed captions too for hearing. Why do I feel like I'm missing like 1,000 different things up here? Somebody's from Barbados. Awesome. That's cool. So yeah, trying to find different things that are enjoyable for you, learning sign language too. I've told you guys this before. For any of you who are new, a lot of times what happens when we're learning sign language and we're learning by ourselves is our receptive becomes hard. Like, for example, one of the biggest struggles I notice people is their finger spelling. They can produce it, but they don't understand it. And the reason that is because when you're finger spelling, you're used to looking at it like this. Here I am. This is how I finger spell. But your brain and your mind is not used to seeing it like this, where it's being done to you. So your mind, your eyes can't process fingerspelling in this direction because you're not watching it in this direction. When you practice like this. So one of my biggest suggestions I tell people is to fingerspell in the mirror. Practice in the mirror, because then you're going to get used to seeing it the way it would be if somebody was fingerspelling to you. Or you can record yourself too. I don't like doing that mainly because to me it takes time. Then I got to set my camera up and then I got to look. I'll just sit there and I'll practice in the mirror, or I used to practice in the mirror, and that's going to really help you. So finding like these little tips and tricks and stuff. And here's another thing too that thought gone. There's an owl in that tree.
While you're trying to remember that, real quick, Texas. You were asking how do you contact me? There's my email address. So just send me an email, and then we'll go ahead and give you all the information for the 7-day challenge.
Yeah.
For those that haven't, let's see here, because I don't want to leave everybody else out. As a thanks for joining us tonight, I'm actually going to include a promo code, and it's going to be challenge 50, and it's going to take $50 off the entire registration, and so it's going to bring it down to $49. So that's going to be available for the end of tonight. It's going to expire tomorrow, so if you want to jump on that, it's challenge 50, and we'll go. And there's a link to where you can register in the description on the YouTube live stream. It's there you go.
Yeah.
Challenge
so
50.
It's going to expire tomorrow night. It's a 24-hour window. So it's not like, oh my God, it's like 9:00. I'm not going to do that tonight. No, you have until tomorrow night. It's a 24-hour promo code that's open. Is there a link to register?
Thank you,
Is there a link to register in the YouTube live stream? Yes, there is a link in there that was dropped. I don't know where, but he did it. He's the tech guy, not me. As you guys know.
Actually, aslbasics.com. If you just go to the website aslbasics.com and just scroll down like half a page, you can find a link to where you can register there as well.
I'm going to tell you guys, because I know I've been seeing the comments and people have been telling me we seem really glitchy and our connection's kind of wonky. That's because we're not home. Like, as you can tell, my background is not the same as it normally is. It's normally like blue back there. It's because we're not home. We're house sitting for his grandfather. So we're actually out of town and we're here. So we're on his Wi-Fi and we're not connected to the internet like I normally am. So that's why we're a little glitchy tonight. I can see when I sign, my hands get kind of fuzzy. Oh, I don't like that.
We're also using your potato camera on the laptop.
Potato camera? You're rude.
It's back. It's not bad when you're, because it's starting to get dark outside.
Oh, yeah.
And so it wasn't that bad when we had like a lot of light hit it. But now that the lighting's starting to go,
what can I say? Yeah. But anyway, so next week will be better. Do you want to let you guys know that? Like, our like internet, you're like, you guys, what's going on? That's not normal. Yeah, I know. So I'll go back to my notes. Yeah, and definitely just going back to my topic.
You know, we forgot to take a picture.
Oh. I'm going to designate one of our regulars to remind us. Be like, hey, you're always here. Remind me.
Hey, Chris.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was going to unmute, but thank you for directing me to the right site. When I logged on for the 7-day challenge, I picked the wrong thing and you directed me.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But I want to piggyback on what Miss Johnny just said about overcoming boredom.
Oh, yeah.
Like tonight, I'm in my bedroom with you all practicing. So what I do is in the daytime to practice, I'll go outside on the patio or something, or I'll just get in my car and drive to the lake. That changes the whole atmosphere right there.
Yeah, and it's true. So, I mean, it's true. If we're stuck at home and we see the same four walls, it can be frustrating because your home becomes your work, it becomes your school, it becomes your home life, and everything becomes the same. I'll throw myself out there. That's our challenge right now. My work, I'm an interpreter, is now in my office. My college is now in my office.
Not our
my home office.
Office that we drive to. It's
No.
just everything's at
So
home.
everything's at home. My college is now at home because I'm in college right now. So my college is at home. My home life is at home. My everything is at home, and it's like, ooh, it's hard. So I like that, Jerry. Going out, maybe going outside or going for a drive, or if you live near a lake or a river or the mountains or something, and you're able to go and just be like, and maybe practicing sign out there. That can be really beneficial too. If we don't take this picture,
oh, sorry,
we're going to forget. So there are 2 screens because there are, like I said, there's so many tonight. So we're gonna do 1, 2. It sounds like Milo.
It does.
So if you don't want to be in the picture, you can like bow out. You can put your hands up in your back. So here we go. We're gonna do it twice. Ready? Sorry. Okay. Here we go. Ready?
Let's see here. Control bracket.
1, 2, 3.
Camera's up there.
Dang it. And we're going to do 1. Oh, God. And we're going to do 1 more. I'm looking at you guys and not my camera.
Okay.
One
page
more.
2.
Page 2. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. Laugh at me.
It's funny.
Okay. And we're done. So, but yeah, definitely experiment with it. Find what's enjoyable for you.
Tell me what this sign means. Not this sign, but behind your head, like no.
Like this?
That one.
It looks really close to bunny to me.
But it's not.
But it's not.
No. I seen it on
Well, like this?
Like haircut?
Well, it could be haircut, or if it's done with one finger and goes like this, like boom, it's over my head.
Over my head. Like I don't.
It could
don't
be
understand.
like over my head, like I'm not understanding this at all. It kind of depends on context, on what they're talking about.
Let me see here. Madison or Stephanie? Any ideas?
Yeah, haircut. I'm thinking haircut too. If it's with the 2, maybe haircut. You're right.
Every week.
I know it's always something with him.
Is it haircut?
It could be haircut. Yeah. If it
that'd
like
be my
scissors.
guess.
Mm-hmm.
What was the sentence that it was in?
Yeah, context helps.
I forgot. I'm looking all through my cue cards trying to find it. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, the cards can be tricky too because like you're not seeing it in motion, you're not seeing it in 3D, and the arrows can be really deceiving. And cards can be really tough sometimes because the signs are oftentimes depicted differently, and it's not really clear. Like, is it a circular motion? Is it a twisting motion? Is it a moving motion? And so it can be kind of hard to know what they want you to do based off of that like static picture. So that can be.
I learned a valuable lesson, Chris. Last week I went back through my cue cards. If you don't put information on those cue cards, what that sign means, or draw a picture, I went through 50 of them. I couldn't remember, but maybe 10 or 15.
Yeah, it's tough. And I know we talked about interleaved learning before. But it's okay to forget, and it's just part of the process. The important thing is to not wait such a long period of time to where you forget everything. And just some quick stats on that. If we learn something today, you'll forget about a little more than half the next day if you don't review it. But if you wait a month, you forget 82%. Like you only remember 12% of what you learned. And so we want to make sure that time gap doesn't get too big to where we forget everything we learned. But forgetting and relearning within small, shorter periods of time, it actually really helps you learn faster and retain that information longer.
My comm teacher just told me that. Well, not me, but we were doing our Zoom thing, and she was like telling us, "You want water? Water." Okay. She was telling us that how quickly how quickly we will forget information and stuff. I love my comm teacher. She's awesome. So I did answer the question from Juliet. Can anyone from Barbados sign up? Yes. So it doesn't matter which country you're from. You can definitely sign up. That's totally fine.
Yeah, we've had
no worries
people
there.
join from India, from Japan, from like countries all over the world.
I can't remember the other one. Bolivia.
Yeah, Bolivia,
That was fun.
Brazil.
Yeah.
What
would you recommend for memory skills? Oh, that's so you. Go ahead. He has this whole thing about memory and remembering things.
Yeah.
So when it comes to memory.
So in order not to go too much into detail, I've actually have a free workshop on YouTube that you can actually watch. It's remember how to remember more. And it's a free workshop and it's on YouTube. But anyways, some highlights from that is spaced repetition, which is basically you want to, if you learn a new sign or any new piece of information, you want to review it a lot. Preferably like three times the first
I'm sorry.
day.
I'm going to interrupt you just a second. I just realized what's happening here. First of all, Bree, thank you. I'm like, man, all of a sudden the comments on my Zoom are just blowing up and I don't understand why. Because she's taking the comments from YouTube and dropping it into our Zoom. Like she's like copy and pasting because I'm like, that is the same question. Thank you for doing that because I know it's hard. Like we're like, I'm like, I know I'm missing stuff, but she's like, boop, 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 boop. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Somebody was saying that they don't have audio on the Zoom. Is that true?
She's closed captioning for Susan. Oh, thank you. Because Susan's deaf, so we have someone who's closed captioning.
Nice, awesome.
Thank you. That's fine. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that.
Actually,
let
we
it go.
probably don't need.
Let it go.
Let's do that because I don't need the laptop flying off the table.
Anyways, awesome. Thank you. That's so cool. Okay, go ahead. Sorry,
because you weren't interpreting for a little while. Thank you. Okay, so really quick, spaced repetition. If you learn something new, you want to review it often, and then as time goes on, you can review it less and less. So there's like a 3x3 rule that you can kind of follow. If you learn, let's say it's a new sign, right? You learn a new sign, review it 3 times the first day, review it once a day for 3 days, review it once a week for 3 weeks, and then once a month for 3 months. And that's just like if you want to be like super scientific and like really regimentally follow that pattern, you can. But just as a rule of thumb, when you learn it, review it a lot in the beginning, and you can review it less and less with longer durations of time in between the time that you go back to it. And that kind of goes into, what's that?
Chris?
Yeah.
When you said review it a lot, and then you said 3 times the first day, which is it? Is it a lot or 3 times? I was puzzled about that. I went back and listened at what you said. Can I review it 10 times that day? Does that matter?
Yeah. I mean, there's if you want to learn,
times, right?
Yeah, at least 3 times the first day. I know it sounds like a lot, but like
not a lot. Because he said it doesn't sound like a lot. Like he wants.
When I'm going out, I got my cue cards in the car with me, and if I stop to the store or the stop sign, I'm looking at a cue card. So is that too much?
No, I mean the more you look into it, like let's say for a phone number, right? And you have a brand new phone number, and you have to like look it up every time you dial it, and you're dialing it, and sometimes you forget it a lot in the beginning. But like say for example, you review that number 3 times or 5 times or 7 times. Like that first day, you have to review it like multiple times. At least this is back when we actually memorized phone numbers. But yeah, the number isn't as important, but this is kind of a rule of thumb to review it very often when it's new to you. Yeah, try to do it at least 3 times, and that will help you with that memory retention rate. And
if I do it 10 times that day, it's better for me.
If that's what it takes, 10 times. Yeah, if you actually Google spaced repetition, they have this graph of like the best course to follow, and it's your memory retention, and then the degradation, and then you review it, and then it degradates, and you review it. And like, if you really want to get detailed into it, you can do that. One book I always recommend is Unlimited Memory by Kevin Horsley. He's a grandmaster chess player, and he has a world record for memorizing the most digits of pi, to 10,000 digits. So you ask him, what's digit 5,000, and he'll pull up the right digit. And so he has a whole book about memory tricks, and it's a really stellar read. And it's not that long. It's pretty simple. And I recommend that if that's something you want to really dive into, Unlimited Memory by Kevin Horsley. We have that book on our resources page as well.
Hey, I went back and reviewed him yesterday. It is a good book.
Yeah. And I know everybody that picked that up was like really enjoyed it. Okay. Okay, so Zoom audio is working. Oh, because we have the deaf one. Let's see here.
Some lost, like some can't hear us on Zoom, or others can. I think it's the internet. Technology sucks.
We had something from Hong Kong. We already did the memory skills.
Okay.
You going through the Zoom?
No, I'm going over here. If anyone has significant others living with
Hey, Miss Johnny. Her name was Amber Galloway. She's a great signer for music.
Yes, she's really good. She's the one with the pink hair, right? Please, somebody tell me that that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I always forget her name, but yes, she's amazing.
Yes, she is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
She goes to rock, hip hop, country, and western. She does everything.
We signed rock differently.
What did you do, rock?
I did rock. That's funny. He signed rock and I signed rock. I mean, it's you see, there's different signs.
Rock show.
Wrong kind of rock.
Oh, come on.
Anyways,
the geologist would have left.
Okay, so to review next week, the theme is hobbies. What do you like to do in your free time? What do you like to do? So that's next week's theme is hobbies. Again, we will be doing a cutoff time for Zoom. It will open at 5, but at 5:15 we will lock it, and so you cannot join after that. I will reopen it when we close the breakout rooms. If anybody wants to join in Zoom for like the question and answers, you can. Everything will be live streamed on YouTube. You can watch it there too. But yeah, just quick reminders. And also the last reminder with Zoom, we did set up a new safety where nobody can send private chats. They will all be public. We can see it. If a problem emerges, we can take care of it like this. That is for your safety. Okay, so can you show me the sign for wait? Wait. Wait. Yeah, wait.
Is that Pacific time?
Yes, it is Pacific time. So 5 o'clock Pacific time. 8 o'clock Eastern, and I will not do everything else because I'm not good at it. Does anybody have any other questions or anything like you're like, hey, last minute, anything before we end tonight? I know it's like getting like super late for some. we kind of figured out where most people, like if they're like the East Coast, it's like 9:30 where I live. Oh my God. So any like last.
I'm curious what time it is in Barbados.
Yeah.
Me too.
I know what the context was now.
Okay.
It was, what's the sign for disappointed?
Disappointed?
Yeah.
Disappointed? Okay. Then they had this sign. The one I just showed you. This one.
It has to be haircut.
I think it was a bad haircut.
Like I was disappointed in my haircut. It has to be that sign haircut.
That'd be our guess.
That's my context. That's how I would catch it. I would say they were disappointed in their haircut.
What'd their face look like?
Were they like sad? Like
Okay.
That was a bad decision.
Your sign smile.
Smile.
I missed. Oh, what is the sign
and
for?
embarrassed look alike, or am I wrong?
So wait is out, but embarrassed comes up your face. It's like how you turn red and it goes. So it comes up like this, embarrassed. The sign for exactly. It's like your little pinch your fingers.
Closed X's.
Okay, and then they go on top of each other. Exactly. So that's the sign.
Yeah. And sometimes the location is different.
This is how you sign celebrate?
Celebrate. It's a sign for celebrate.
I don't have a Zoom ID or password. I don't think you need an ID to join Zoom. If you just click the link, and if you're on like a mobile device, it'll open up the Zoom app to download. And if you're on a PC or a computer, I think it just opens up in a browser.
Susan said maybe it was like, depending on the facial expression, it could be the sign for vain also. So maybe that could have been it's hard. Like if like for me, if I'm not there and like I see like them sign it, I'm like confused, like the context, like, oh, so yeah, maybe, I mean, I'm going to think about it, but it could have been, number three, it could have been haircut, vein. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry, Jerry. It could have been like anything.
Could have been what else? Vain?
Vain.
Okay.
Like you're really into yourself.
When you can see something in your camera and you know it's not right, and you're like turning around. My daughter was like jumping off the couch.
Anybody's trying to work home with kids.
Oh my God. The stories, the stories that are going to happen after COVID about working from home with their kids or with their animals. Yeah. Okay. Do you have the video? It's from
No.
Jerry. Okay. So, I was giving you guys before we end. And then we have the $50 off, the Challenge 50 code for you guys to use that will be available until tomorrow night. So go ahead and do that. I'm just trying to catch if I've missed anything before we end it for the night.
And then we are doing that workshop this Friday.
Right. This Friday is the workshop
This Friday?
Yeah, at 3:30. He said it was at 3, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I work until 3:20. So
Is that on the East Coast time?
No,
that's Pacific time. So 6:30 your time.
6:30.
Oh wait, you're Central, right?
No,
or Eastern?
He's East.
I'm Eastern.
He's East.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be 6:30
6:30 your
East,
time.
but it's 3:30 Pacific time. And that workshop is going to be on time. And you're probably thinking, like, seriously, time? Like, really? Time can be a lot more complicated than you think. So it's time. Present, future, past. We're going to go into some details about that and how to like catch when you see somebody signing to know what time they're referring to. Was this a story from their past? Is it something that happened now? Is it something that's going to happen? And how you can pick and like figure it out. So we're going to talk about time. I'm telling you, there's a lot more of like little details in some of these things that seem pretty simple, but yeah, we're going to talk. It's like the numbers. When we did the number one last month, it's like, what? Yeah, numbers, right? So, okay, guys.